Cities. I love them so much that I studied them, seeking to immerse myself in the intimate qualities that made me feel at home, reassured, and inspired. Cities full of life and noise, brimming with the interactions and endless possibilities. In a city, an unexpected encounter or event could lead me down an unforeseen path or spark a new realization. Cities are where people grow, learn, connect, and travel to experience each other's realities. I used to love cities because they made me feel increasingly connected to others. I could see how their environments nurtured them, either offering a wealth of opportunities or life-altering disadvantages. I loved being just an ant in the colony, insignificant in the grand scheme of things. However, as I've grown older, my love for cities has changed. My desire to be somewhere new, at the whims of coincidences and unexpected experiences, no longer ignites my soul as it once did. I feel increasingly disconnected from that feeling now. I used to be a self-proclaimed escapist who reveled in travel and the new and unexpected. I now realize that it was permitting me to avoid facing parts of myself I never really liked. Changing my environment meant that no one knew me, and I could be a better, more authentic version of myself each time I moved on and grew up. The noise of the big city would permeate my mind, quietening the once prevalent negative self-talk and disdain for the silence of my own company. In my gap year, the further away I went, the more awe-inspired and captivated I was by life abroad. The moments that occurred in this isolated passage of time with no tangible connection to anyone or anything now permanent in my life makes me think, was it a change of environment I needed? Or a confrontation with myself and the life I was leading? My playlist for my travels was called Escapism as a Form of Stagnation. In hindsight, I realized this foreshadowed something deep within me that I was unwilling to address. Beyond my love for new experiences and the endless possibilities of life, escaping my reality was a way for me to stagnate my inner growth and prolonged my establishment of a congruent place of myself in my own life. It was an avoidance that ran so deep. When I'd come home from abroad, my world seemed dull, and what seemed to be a permanent fullness in my heart would cease to exist. I thought the solution to this was more travel. However, I now know that although those experiences were enriching and ultimately life-changing, what my soul was seeking was an inner love and acceptance for myself, an objective look at my life and how I wanted things to change so that my day-to-day reflected the fulfillment I felt when abroad. This was further brought to my attention in my architectural history class, where we discussed men embarking on world tours, encountering the Orient and exotic places, commodifying these experiences to extract resources. The resemblance to modern society is uncanny, where being cultured and worldly, extracting personal fulfillment has become a commodification in itself, almost a rite of passage for young adults, a capitalist happy machine, the foundations for which were set a long time ago. Everyone says that being in your 20s is the time of your life, and I think this is so sad. Although I've loved my times traveling and will soon live abroad, I don't want them to be this glorified epitome. I want the vast majority of my life to be the best, my rooted self in a typical mundane life, but to be grateful for the security, the strong interpersonal relationships, the small things in my day, and the beauty of my roots in a place. Famous philosophers used to say that love couldn't exist under capitalism, and I believe that to be true. A love for ourselves, our old and at times routine friendships, the inability of our generation to sustain committed relationships. I think all of these factors contribute to one another. Like a cataclysmic effect, the threads barely visible to the naked eye that one wouldn't perceive them as a problem. Humans acting in binary polarities, as we always do. Staying somewhere and having a family was unfulfilling, so we swing to the extreme opposite of glorifying constant upheaval, change, and superficial relationships. It's not that I no longer love traveling or cities. It's that I now recognize the fullness of my heart and beacon of light they once provided me was a self-delusion, an escape from myself. I feel better now that I've acknowledged this fact, strong enough to face the parts of myself I don't like and sit in uncomfortable places and feelings instead of immersing myself into something new and forgetting about that place or that time. I've learned that planting roots in a city can be a strength, where one has cultivated compassion in their day-to-day and has truly come to terms with the fact that the hard times ebb and flow. I used to think that it was so sad that people never moved, but now I see persistence, strength, and love to it. Perhaps some of us are trees, leaving strong roots, and others flowers, germinating our seeds over different places and time. These observations are merely a reflection of my life and my experiences and perceptions of things. I'll still continue to travel and hopefully live in a few different places. But that completeness or desire to move will no longer come from my inability to face my life and stick out the hard times. Perhaps this will resonate with some people, I'm not sure. But what I'm certain of is that my love for cities has evolved, no longer lingering a naive rendition.